So, as some of you might know, I'm a massive science fiction fan. Star Trek, Star Wars, anything with other planets, aliens, and exploration. According to the Kepler Space Mission project, there are 40 billion Earth-sized planets orbiting habitable zones of sun-like stars and red dwarfs within the Milky Way, and over 100 billion other planets. And that's just in our little galaxy. Genesis 1 verse 16 reads, "Then God created two lights, the greater light to rule over the day and the lesser light to rule over the night. He made the stars also." So he made it all. And I love the thought that we could be part of a much bigger picture. Now this morning we talked about how man has always had a thirst for knowledge, how we yearn to know more and better ourselves, unfortunately most of the time in the very worldliest of senses. We crave what we can't have, and as a race we sometimes attempt to justify and quantify the answers to questions even if the solution is right in front of us the entire time. There's one such question that's been asked by many, but was answered right at the beginning of the time and yet is still argued over. How did our existence come to be? Well, not so long ago, Charlotte and I visited an observatory, and we were addressed by a number of scientists who very boldly claimed that they had the answer to that question, and that their solution was so concrete that it would blow all evidence for design out of the water. Now, obviously, it's important to listen to other people's views and challenge your own, and it's only then that you can be confident that what you believe in is right. So we listened to the talk, taking in everything that they said. And I'd like to give you a quick summary of their official scientific answer to how the Earth was created and where we came from. So in the beginning, there was nothing. There we go. In the beginning, there was nothing. The Earth was a flat vacuum of emptiness. All that existed was this plane of dark matter. Now, who here, except for Charlotte, of course, knows what dark matter is? Okay, this is good. Well, the visible matter, the stuff that makes up everyday objects, apparently makes up less than 5% of the mass of the universe. Scientists have concluded that the universe is far lighter than it should be. Now, don't ask me how they've weighed the universe, because that's beyond me. But anyway, the rest of the universe apparently is made up of a mysterious invisible substance called dark matter, and a force that repels gravity called dark energy. Now, over time, this dark matter shifts about, and eventually it forms these little nodes. You can see them in the yellow spots on there. Over billions of years, these nodes get bigger, forming ever-increasing gravity wells that sucks in more dark matter. Now, at a very basic level, it begins to get very hot with all the swirling matter, and some basic elements are formed, forming the building blocks for life. Suddenly, we've got huge reactions occurring. Protons, neurons, and electrons collide to form the atom. Sorry, I've lost myself. We also get bits of dust beginning to cluster, making bigger and bigger lumps, forming its own gravity. Eventually, some of the lumps become so hot with dense elements forming within that it starts to generate its own energy, igniting nuclear fires and becoming suns. Now, the remaining dusty mixture swirls around the stars, fanning out into a disk. And in relation to our own solar system, gradually the sun grew in size, the dusty disk cools. And over millions of years, the dust clusters into grains, then lumps, then boulders, and eventually planetesimals. And according to scientists, some of these planetesimals form the embryonic forms of our planets in our solar system. So slowly, these rocky planets begin to organise themselves, settling at a comfortable distance from the Sun and finding their own orbit. Earth finds its place as the third planet from the Sun. Now at this point we ask what happens next, and the official answer was that the forming of our atmosphere and landscape is still being worked out. But assuming they work it all out, we then jump into the existence of one-celled tiny organisms, evolution, fish decides it can breathe above water, mammals, apes, humans, etc. Now, I found all that really quite fascinating, but there was one blindingly obvious problem with the solution, yet it's something no one else seemed to pick up on. And that was that nothing they said in that room could be proven at all. Now, the important thing to know about dark matter is that it cannot be observed. It does not interact with physical matter, and it's completely invisible to light and other forms of electromagnetic radiation, making dark matter impossible to detect. So dark matter, the matter that precedes all else, the thing that caused everything to be, according to scientists, is at best a theory to balance out the figures. There is no evidence, nor can we recreate or observe the forming of atoms or elements in the way that they suggest our planet was founded. And evolution has never been observed or proven. Survival of the fittest, yes, but never evolution. So on that basis, I'd like to submit to you that it takes more faith to believe in science than it does to believe in the Bible's solution. Now, we believe that God created the world in 7 days, or 7 periods of time, depending on how you want to look at it. Help me out. Day 1, what did God create? Okay. Light. God created light. And separated the light from the darkness, calling the light day and the darkness night. Day 2, God created...
Heaven.
Yeah. So he created an expanse to separate the waters and called it sky. Day 3. Okay, God created dry ground. Gathered the waters, calling the dry ground land, and gathered the waters, called it seas. On day 3, God also created vegetation, plants and trees. Day 4, God created the sun, the moon and the stars to give light to the earth and to govern and separate the day and the night. These would also serve to mark the seasons, days and years. Sorry, did I say day 5? That was day 4. Day 5. God created every living creature of the seas and every winged bird, blessing them to multiply and fill the waters and sky with life. Day 6. God created the animals to fill the earth. On day 6, God also created man and woman, Adam and Eve, in his own image to commune with him. He blessed them and gave them every creature and the whole earth to rule over, care for, and cultivate. And finally, on day 7, God finished his work of creation and he rested on that day, blessing it and making it holy. Now, it doesn't record how God went about creation, how he achieved the wonder that is our world. We wouldn't understand it if he did. But it does record prophecies throughout the Bible proving the book's validity. So you can see them come true every day. We touched on a couple this morning. You've got Nebuchadnezzar's dream and the empires of man. Prophecies regarding the evil of man. There are prophecies regarding the development and technology of man, but most importantly, the prophecies regarding the immense persecution of Israel through the ages, their feud with the surrounding Arabic nations, their refusal to die out as a race, their return to the Promised Land, and all the events since. And there's more to come. But if that's not enough for you, there are archaeological finds that support the Bible, and even on a logical level. How could one book change the world in the way it has, surviving through the ages, being translated into so many languages, and yet remain so intact when compared to original writings like the Dead Sea Scrolls? It's amazing. This morning we talked about observing the world as through the innocent eyes of the child. I want you to look now, not at this, the man-made scene that you might see out of your window every day, but at this, the world as God intended it to be in his original creation. At this, our amazing, mind-blowing universe in all its beauty. It's hard to deny even the smallest possibility of the existence of the Creator, that the world wasn't made from pure chance, and that we aren't here right now as coincidence. A lot of science today is still pure speculation. But before I go on, I do want to say, and this is very important to me, that I do have the utmost respect for any belief, including science. This is just my reaction to it as a believer in God. Now, following the immensely educational talk given to us by the scientists, we were taken outside to telescopes and we were given the opportunity to stargaze, which was absolutely fantastic. Yet, even though these telescopes were taller than my houses, we could only ultimately see these little pinpricks of light in the distance. And it really made me ponder the size of our universe. So I want to attempt to watch a short video. Hopefully you'll all be able to see it, just to illustrate that point. So this is our Earth here. Can you all see it okay? Mm-hmm. This is Earth. So that's our solar system, right there. A couple of other galaxies. We're still going. And that's what our universe is thought to look like from what we've mapped so far. It's absolutely huge. Now, I want to bring that into context a little bit. It won't be to scale, but hopefully it'll be good enough to make my point. Can I take this out? Can I borrow my 3 helmets?
Look at you pay you or not.
Right. What's this? Yeah? Jessica, if you could stand by the door. Okay. Charlotte, you could stand halfway down. Tash, if you could stand there. Right. So, assuming the Sun, the largest object in our solar system, is that big, okay? Tash is holding Mercury. Okay? It's that small compared to the sun, about that far away. Next along, we've got Venus. Charlotte's holding Venus. Hold it up high. Okay. At the far end over here, we've got Earth. Brethren and sisters, you are the size of a molecule, maybe even smaller, on that little Earth there. How does that make you feel? Pretty small right now, right? Okay, you can all sit down now. I'm sorry, I've embarrassed you long enough. Andromeda, the next galaxy along, that's somewhere in Spain on that scale. It's pretty far away. I think we as humans can create a little bubble that is our life. I do it all the time. Mine pretty much extends from home to my workplace in Birmingham, and not a lot really happens outside it. I don't tend to think outside my bubble. Inside my bubble, I matter. It's all about me. I feel big and important in my bubble. But science says that's not correct. We're not big, we're not important. We're tiny. We're actually quite insignificant. It says the sun will become a red giant and fry our Earth within 5 billion years. It's going to wipe humanity out of existence. Nothing we do right now, within our lifetimes, will make a dent in the history of our universe. The Bible says otherwise. In Matthew 10, 29 to 31, it says, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's will? But the very hairs on your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore, you are more valuable than many sparrows." Basically, everyone is valued to God. We might not be able to see the molecules that make up this little bit of paper, but God can. He wants you to be close to him. He's given us life and this world to inhabit. He watches over us and loves us, even though we don't really acknowledge his existence as a race. Proverbs 8:17. "I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently find me." He loves each of us tiny, insignificant beings, so much that he gave his one and only Son for us. John 3:16. "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life." As you can see, in God's eyes, we are anything but significant. Now, with the acknowledgement of God, there comes certain responsibilities. You have to try to abide by his laws. You have to make sacrifices. It might restrict you, yeah, but it'll give your life meaning. Your life is no longer a finite bubble with nothing outside. You've got that hope of more. I'd like you to consider something. Who is going to remember you when you're gone? Because we all die eventually. It's the wages of sin. Your family and close friends might remember you, but only for a few generations. Maybe you'll get your name published, make it into the history books, or star in a movie and be immortalised forever. Nope, because the world's going to end. Science's outlook is quite bleak. But God of the Bible offers eternal life. That in that perfect kingdom we talked about this morning, he genuinely wants you to take it. So put your trust in God, and next time you're feeling down, like the world is going to swallow you up, you can know that you're important to our Father in heaven. Open your bubble up to him, perceive the wonders of our world and the universe as if through the eyes of a child. Know God, and he will give you a purpose. Now, I hope my hobbies and interests have resulted in some good thoughts and feelings from you all this morning. I want to thank my helpers and all of you for your attention. I hope you have a great Easter and God bless you on your way home tonight.